Hello, it's Darren with I Survived Suicide. So this weekend's been pretty rough. It's actually 2 weeks today that I was found. Um, 2 weeks yesterday since I did that. I went through another account and I actually found it was a total of 74 different pills. Um, and that's everything from some muscle relaxants, antidepressants, sleeping pills, even Nitol. There's five different kinds of pills that I took that were in my system. The I'm thinking there's two reasons I'm still here. Is one is my body was more accustomed to high pain meds because over the last decade I've been taking anywhere between like on average at least six Advil a day. But we've gotten actually depending on what my migraines were doing, there's 10 or 12 every day, and there's a period of time I would I worked I left HVAC and went to work part time maintenance at a hotel because I was unreliable. I was getting so many headaches. There's actually times where I would actually go into the one boss's office and like I would actually go in with my eyes closed, holding my head, excuse me, and go, oh Kim, I'm sorry, I can't. I need to go home. I hurt so much. I'll see you tomorrow. And like it was like it actually got that bad. Um, so I think you know that's part of the reason. Also, my guardian angel definitely was earning their wings. So um, that's again what I did was wrong. I know that, but it wasn't one thing in particular. And a lot of people will sit there and go, "Well, you just this happened, so like you like that doesn't make sense." It's like no, no, no. It's not one thing. It's a culmination. Um, and I, for my case, it was a culmination. 49 years of different things, like still dealing with dad's death and mom's death and Jordan's death and divorce and like the the final straw was what happened with me and her, and it's I know I've got my challenges, um, but just know that like I'm gonna be merging kind of my two lives together here. Like like it's I'm not gonna go into super huge detail, but just a little bit about what someone like me suffers from. Um, I'm that socially awkward guy. I will stand in front of the mirror for an hour trying to memorize lines of things to say before I go to a party. And then when I'm at the party, I'll sit in a corner, uh, wondering what to do with my hands. Like, should I put my hands across my chest? Should they be on my lap? Should I put them in my pocket? Like I'll that'll be a 5 minute conversation I have with myself while I'm there. Like, should I sit up straight like they do in the army? Should I, be laid back? Like the those are those are things that I dwell on. Like I I can't remember really the last time I went to the bar to to just go to the bar. Um, no, I'm not like I went for dinner with Rick a few months ago. Um, that was at BP's, and that was just me and him. I don't count that. I don't count me going to BP's to go for dinner after work. Partly because I'm too lazy to cook, or I'm I'm just I want a beer, or it's just me anyways. So I'm just there at the bar watching TV, eating, and then I'm done. I leave. that's unless you can understand that awkwardness and that uncomfortableness that people like me feel, then it's hard really to describe. Um, like I went to family reunions with Phyllis and the girls and her parents, and I knew them. And then we'd be with aunts and uncles and whoever, and I would, like, we would take two vehicles because I had to leave. I had, like, there I was on, and they gave me crap for this all the time. And it's not because of anything there or anyone there. It's that that was my that's my nature. Um, I don't know what to say to people. That's part of the reason why I like mechanics, is because you do A and the result is B. Um, I can see how a motor works in my head. I can understand it. I don't understand people. I it they just you put two pieces of equipment side by side, they're gonna act the same. Like, you do the same thing to the same one, and it's gonna be the same result. You put two people side by side and you say something, and you're gonna get two different results. Not even say something, just do something, and you're gonna get two different results. And it's just like, to those people that have told me over the last 49 years, and that are thinking, well, don't let it bug you, or water off a duck's back. Shut up. Like, seriously. Like, unless you can say how to do that, don't say it, because it doesn't do people like us any good. Actually, it makes us feel worse, because now we're sitting there going, well, we're dwelling on this now, and this is, like, that hurts. Like, I one of my, what I thought was my best friend, probably the closest person to me other than dad, was Rick. He was one of the groomsmen at my wedding. Um, I've known him since the '90s, and like he was probably the closest person I could talk to other than dad. Because he were like he no, he wasn't my dad, but he was probably like this. I don't even know how to explain it, but I called him the other day, and I said, Rick, I I tried to kill myself, like a week ago, and even admitting something like that is tough for people. And his response was, well, good to hear. And, like, I won't ever be talking to Rick again. I've deleted his numbers off my phone. I've deleted his contacts entirely, because this was like my best, well, not my best, but probably as close to a best friend as someone like me would actually get. And that didn't help. I struggled that day. So, uh, Rick, if you ever see this, I'm sorry, but we're done, buddy. Um, so, anyways, like, it's hard for people like me to deal with other people. Um, I, as an example, and Mason, Nicole, I love you guys. I was over at their place Friday after work, and we are just shooting the shit, bullshitting, nothing major. We, I don't know, we might even been talking about the weather. Who knows? Nothing important. Um, but some people came over, and I feel my heart going already. Uh, there was 8 or 9 people there, counting myself. Like not a massive number of people. So I mean, it's not like there's 100 people there. Um, yeah, there's like 8 or 9, and I like some of those people were outside, and I was actually if those people came in, I was actually having enough anxiety. I was vibrating enough. I don't know if you noticed, Nicole, but I was actually vibrating enough where I I was actually gonna leave. Um, I was actually gonna leave pretty quick at that point. But if they came in, guaranteed I was gone. Uh, it just I don't know if some of you will understand this kind of anxiety around people. Obviously it's not healthy, um, and that's on my list to talk to the counselor about. But that's just kind of where my level is. Like I don't understand people, um, and that like it's so. Anyway, part of my life is I'm into femdom submission, and part I don't have to do anything, and really I'm actually paying for someone to pretend to like me, whether it's for an hour or a week, whatever. Um, that's There's no expectation on top of that, and that's like don't start thinking of 50 Shades of Grey, because that's just bullshit. There are aspects of it I like and I don't like, and it's I'm not going to go into details about things. Um, when Mason came in, he saw me in all my glory. Thanks for not saying anything, Mason. Uh, Nicole knows, and please, darling, don't ever bring it up, because that's just not going to be good for either one of us. Um, so that's as far as I'm going to get into that part of it. Now, uh, was I stupid? Maybe. I I take things for what they're said. So if you say something, this is what you mean it. Again, like Mason and I were talking about this the other day. A handshake is not a deal done anymore. It's not like it was in the 80s or 90s where your word's your bond. Yeah, this is what I want. This is done. Okay, it's gonna be this. Okay, done. Good deal. And it's gonna be taken care of. Um, Now, uh, it's different, and I haven't adjusted, and that's me. Um, but I take things as to what you say. Now I'm gonna play like we did a lot of WhatsApp communications, just so we could talk to each other, uh, and I'm going to play a short piece, not the whole thing, because there's other things in there that I'm not going to divulge to you guys because it's none of anybody else's business. But this is just some of the things that, like, she knew I was struggling that that period of time, and I can't remember if this was the week of or the week before, but I was going through some challenges. But this is one of the messages I got from her at that time.
Babe, I almost cried listening to your voice. Oh, don't be sad or lonely. You are very loved. Very, very loved. You're a very special man. Fuck anyone who didn't see that. Like, honestly, fuck them. Don't care what people think. The only people that matter are people who love you, like me, family, friends. Anybody else, it doesn't even matter. I know you're lonely, babe. I know you don't ask for a lot of attention. You really, really don't. You're one of the best, absolute best people I've ever spoken to in my life. You're amazing, okay? Absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to be together one day. We would have been probably, if not for all this shit going on.
So I had proposed to her a year ago, and those are the kind of messages I get. So you know, we'll be together. We'll be married. I took now. Did she love me? I don't know. I'm I'm not gonna go down that road, um, because it won't be good for me to think about that. Uh, I just like that. She said we were gonna be together, and I took that to heart. Now I knew what she did for a living, and I get that. I understood that. Um, that's part of the reason why we were together is because of what she did, and um, just like for someone like me who's socially awkward, we need to do things like that to feel loved and cared about. And it's, is it right? Is it wrong? It is what it is. I'm not gonna debate that, um, but that's the person I am, and the only thing I think is like I the Facebook algorithms, because she had given me a new WhatsApp number, and I was struggling that week with some of the things that were going on, and um, seeing some of the content that was going on, and she said that he was just a friend, and she wasn't dating him, and she wouldn't date him because he was too cocky for her to come across the Facebook post, that and I didn't I didn't go searching for it. It was um, that Facebook algorithm, people you may know. So that was what started the trigger off. I spent probably an hour going through hers, his, dad's, seeing comments back and forth up, it, and it wasn't just like okay, a week or two. They'd been dating since October of 2021. Now that gave her 6 months to talk to me about it. And I get October's a bad month for me because it's a culmination of a whole bunch of anniversaries, so I'm not in the best. But there's all that time after, and to see that was really what sent me over. She did not cause it. Okay, it I was struggling before. Again, remember, I'm still struggling from dad's death 23 years ago. Um, I still struggle with grandma's death when I was in grade 6, 7. So like, I, I've never been afraid of death. Like I've been around enough death. I'm not afraid to die. And I've always said, I'll probably be dead before I'm 60, and part of that's genetics. Like I just looked at like grandma and grandpa and mom and dad, like we're all dying off earlier, sooner, and so I spent 49 years as this kind of person, and I wanted, I really wanted something different. Um, so maybe I read too much into the whole thing. Uh, Apparently I did, but to to see that, to get the one voice clip and then to see the other side, um, put me over the edge, and that's why I tried. In total, 74 pills, and that was a lot for anybody to handle. Um, I I was wrong. I hurt a bunch of people. Um, I've lost some friends, and will I ever get them back? No. I won't ever get back with her. I don't wish her any ill. I do. Even like my ex-wife, I don't wish her any ill. I it's done. What's done is done, and just be happy. I hope she's happy. Do I think she made the right decision? No. Um, I'm always gonna hope that I was the better choice. It works for her. It works for her as long as she's happy. The guy can't even figure out how to change a tire, but I was helping her with renovations over the phone, and she's in a different continent. So I just like I read too much into things, but I'm that social awkwardness where really it's sad to say I actually have to pay people to pretend to like me. Now you say, yeah, I got friends, but it I'm not talking about friends. Like I've got a few friends. It's not that part of it. Like it's the feeling of really actually being loved. Like at the end of the day, I still come home to an empty house, and that's hard to deal with. Um, I'm working on that as well. Well, I'm hoping Alberta Health can help me with some of these things. Counseling can help me with some of these things, and time can help me with some of these things. I've got to remember that it's a marathon, not a sprint. Now the problem with my mind is because I'm mechanical, I want to see results. I want to see them now, and that's the way mechanics is. You pull this part, you put this part in, and the problem's fixed, and you see the results right now. That's what I look for. And the problem with my kind of a personality is we don't get that when you're trying to recover and trying to change. I I'm struggling this weekend because it's kind of the anniversary weekend. My first weekend out. Um, 2 weeks ago, at this point in time, I was in ICU with a breathing tube in my down my throat, and they're feeding me a whole bunch of charcoal to try and dilute the concoction. Um, it's that's where I went was to a very dark place, and it was not good. I'm working at it. Uh, be patient. If you want to be part of this, great. Um, I'm not going to go into discussion of other things, so don't ask, don't tell, and that's where things are at. I'm still struggling, and I had so many plans this weekend. I was going to totally rip my bedroom all out. Like I was even going to pull the bed out and do a full deep clean in the bedroom. And I spent most of yesterday on the couch. I had two naps. I was looking for a third. I can't even tell you what time I went to bed. It was early. Um, yes, I did eat supper, but I was struggling yesterday. I'm struggling today. I'm not as bad, but I'm like you gotta remember where I was 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks ago I was dying. And actually, 2 weeks ago I was really I wanted to die. I did not want to be on this earth. Um, I've tried to live my life to the best I can to ensure that I go into heaven. Yes, I do believe in God. I don't believe in the Bible because it's interpretations. I do believe there's a God. I do believe there's a devil. Um, now I'm I've said I'm sorry to a bunch of people and I've meant it. I'm I've got to be a little bit more sorry before I ask for God's forgiveness. Will I go to heaven now? Um, I I don't know. Um, when you take your own life, the Bible says you don't. This is something I'm going to need to discuss with a priest when when I get a little bit more okay with that discussion, um, I believe if I ask God for forgiveness, He will. Uh, Again, I this is a discussion I'm gonna have to have with my priest when I'm okay enough to talk to him about it. So, well, that'll be much way down the road. We'll see what happens with that. But anyways, just realize, you know, some people's struggles are a lot more severe than what you actually can even think of. Um, some people, like Rick, are those kind of people that are water off duck's back. Don't let it bother you. Again, shut up. Unless you can tell me how to do that, you saying that does not help me at all. Actually, that hurts me because now I'm gonna dwell on the fact that I'm dwelling on this fact, and it's not good, and I realize that, and that's on my list to talk to the counselor about. But you know, some people take everything that you say to heart, and Tina and I argued many months ago about. We argued about Donald Trump. He's like he was an American president. We're Canadian. It had absolutely no effect on us, but we argued about that, and I took that to heart, and I literally broke off all communication with my only living relative for a long time. Um, I can't even remember when we had that conversation because that was before their election, and I regret some of that, um, but also Tina's the type that likes to argue, just argue. Um, that's her personality. I've got to learn that she's not doing it to hate me, and I know she loves me. Um, but Tina, be patient, please. I'm trying, but I can't handle the argument. And you're being real good so far, so thank you very much. Um, just realize that people like us, we are out there. Um, we don't want like I'm not saying I don't want to argue. Like there's some people I will like. Some people I just love to argue with. If we're talking about, you know, a contract or a job or equipment or hey, I'm all in, and I will go to town on your ass. And there's pretty much 90% of the time I'm gonna win the argument. There's gonna be other times where you know some things I don't need to argue about, um, and it's kind of I was always told a couple years ago pick your battles. Well, that doesn't work. It's not. It's sometimes I don't want to argue, but other times I want that confrontation. I don't know if that makes sense at all either. There are people like me where our anxiety is so high that confrontation, that win the battle, it's a nice little small victory for us. There's other times where that little tiny battle is gonna set us over the edge. Like Tina and I arguing about Donald Trump. That was at that period of time in my life. I don't need this, and I hung up from her. Sorry, Tina. Um, and it's there's other times where you know what, you're gonna argue with me about a job. No, this ain't happening. This is the way it is. This is the way it's gonna be. This is how. Oh, you don't want me to do it? Bye. So there are that. There's also us that we are that socially awkward, and this is not new. Like this is not, oh, it's the internet's out. No, I was that socially awkward 49 years ago. Um, I didn't talk for a long time. I grunted, and Tina can attest to that. I I was delayed speech because I didn't talk. Um, I, was that the medication mom was on? Was that me? Who knows? But I'm that socially awkward person. So don't feel bad if I get up and leave. Don't feel bad if I dismiss myself from the scene. Uh, it's nothing on you or them. Uh, just I'm looking forward to going to counseling in the hopes to fix a lot of these problems. And I'll tell you right now, I'm scared as hell to go to counseling because I know I've got these problems, but now I'm talking to someone strange about them. Um, Now I've heard really good things about them, but that's just like my anxiety's through the roof just thinking about this. Um, I wish the appointment was closer, so I didn't have time to dwell on that. Um, I've got 2 pages of notes that I'm writing down of things to talk to him about, and really I shouldn't be having 2 pages of notes to go through. This thing's gonna be edited God knows how many times between now and next month. It's just that's just my like I wish it would have been yeah okay he's available today and I could have just gone off on at the moment, um, and then added things as we go by. So that's just my personality. Just know that like I'm I've been doing a whole bunch of research this last week about things, and I'm not alone on a lot of this. There are a lot of people that suffer with kind of the same conditions. Um, I've got high anxiety, stress, management skills. Now I'm not talking management of jobs. It's your mind management, time management at home, like not doing anything this weekend. But I mean I am still healing, but I'm working. But it's also that anxiety, that stress, that awkwardness that really is the hard one to deal with. Um, I want to love. I want a girlfriend. I want a wife that who will love me and appreciate me. But the problem is talking to them. You know what? If I could start the conversation in their house talking to them about their furnace and then they called me up would be my ideal dream because that's not me doing it. It's them, and they want to take it further. Uh, and it's not even like I'm not even afraid of the the rejection. It's someone says no, someone says no, whatever. It's like okay, it's that's not it. It's I'm actually afraid of being that weird creepy guy, um, or that that social awkwardness. Like it's not just doing the wrong thing; it's saying the wrong thing. I I tried to pick up this girl in a bar once years ago, and I wanted to tell her how beautiful she looked. Like she looked fabulous. Like, and she was just she looked like a really. She, I'm not talking. She was wearing leather, but like she looked like a really classy woman. Like it was, and I just wanted to compliment her. And I came off sounding like I was retarded, going, and she literally backed away and turned away and almost ran away. And it's like, that's okay. When I'm interested in someone, that's kind of like, my brain stops working, and you know, mouth doesn't actually say anything but makes a whole bunch of noise. So we are out there. I've especially over this last week, I've actually been seeing that more often. So I'm hoping counseling can help me with that because really I'm tired of being alone. Um, Even when I was married, I was still alone because I wasn't comfortable talking to her about some of the things I wanted to talk to, which is why I want to get comfortable with people so I can get to people who are like minded. Um, and will my plans and dreams and hopes come? I I don't know. Um, Time will tell. I don't know how many times I can say this. It's a marathon, not a sprint. A lot of times I'm being too hard on myself because I want to see those results. I want to see them a lot more quicker. But again, my body hasn't even healed up from that day. So like the mind's a lot more complex than the body, and I know that. So I am working at it. Um, I may post, you know, 3 videos a day, and I may go for several days without doing anything. It's just it is. I'm still mentally struggling. I'm still working. I'm still trying. I'm not gonna go to that deep dark place I was again, and that's kind of it for now. Um, I love you all, and hope you all a great and wonderful day. And I guess until next time.